Have you ever wondered how you can increase your e-commerce revenue like this without spending a single extra dollar on ads? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. It's called conversion rate optimization, and it can boost your revenue without any increases in your ad spend, meaning that you can easily multiply your return on ad spend. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 4 different methods of doing conversion rate optimization for your store. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that we all understand what conversion rate optimization is and what it can do for your store. So when we're talking about conversion rate optimization, let me give you an example. If we think about a chart from our revenue divided by our ad spend, what happens is usually you have a certain conversion rate, so you have a certain amount of money that you make according to your ad spend. For this example, let's even assume that you can keep your conversion rate steady as you scale. So this would be your ad spend right here. We're going to call it the amount X, and this is going to be the revenue that you get from that ad spend, which is the amount Y, right? You spend a certain amount of money, you get a certain amount back. Pretty simple. Now let's say that we have an industry standard conversion rate here of about 1.5%. This is our conversion rate. So what conversion rate optimization means is that you'll be making changes in your funnel to make sure that you can extract more value out of the traffic that you already have. The same amount of people come to your website, but more people will buy from you. So let's go back to our example here, and let's say that we're able to do something that's not too crazy. Let's say we increase our conversion rate to 3%. 3% is nothing crazy, it's perfectly realistic. Let's assume that we can, with our conversion rate optimization strategy, take our conversion rate from 1.5 to 3%. So let's extend our line here for the sake of the example. Now we have the same ad spend, right? Spending the same amount of money, but our revenue just went here. So now for amount X of ad spend, we get amount Z, it's this one right here, in revenue. So if we put some numbers to this, what this means is that with X in ad spend, we made about Y amount of revenue. However, with X in ad spend plus conversion rate optimization, we made Z in revenue. Of course, if we look at this, 3% is double 1.5%. So let's say X here is $1,000. And for $1,000 in ad spend, we made about $3,000 in sales. So this is our return on ad spend before we implement any conversion rate optimization strategies. From 1 to 3, we have a 3x ROAS. This is our ROAS right here. Now, after we've implemented our conversion rate strategies, we went from 1.5% to 3% right here. So amount Z is going to be double what we were making before because we had a 1.5 conversion rate first, and now we're getting double that at 3%. So our revenue now is around $6,000, which means a 6 times return on ad spend. This is how powerful and how important conversion rate optimization is. Because just in this example, which is not even too ambitious, you went from a 1.5% conversion rate to a 3% conversion rate. And that means that you go from a 3x ROAS to a 6x ROAS. So you've potentially doubled your profit without spending any more money on ads just by implementing conversion rate optimization strategies. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about 4 methods to do conversion rate optimization. The first conversion rate optimization strategy that I'm going to talk to you guys about has to do with pricing. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be split testing for optimal price points, right? We're going to split test different price points and we're going to try and find which price point gives us the best return. The second strategy that we're going to talk about has to do with split testing different products to upsell and downsell in your funnel. So what we're going to do is we're going to use pre-orders to split test upsells. The third thing that we're going to talk about has to do with optimizing your checkout. A lot of money is lost on the checkout. Sometimes you don't realize that there's a big drop off between your add to carts and your checkouts. That means the customers are not going through your checkout properly and you're losing a lot of revenue in your checkout. So number 3, how to make sure that our checkouts to purchase ratio is as high as possible. And number 4, we're going to call it a bonus here that I'm going to do for you guys, is not necessarily conversion rate optimization, but it is also a way of extracting more money out of the same customers that you have without spending more money on ads. So number 4 here, the bonus, is going to be about customer loyalty, which means getting the customers that you already have to buy more. So let's get right into it and let's start with method number 1, pricing. So split testing pricing is absolutely essential to make sure that you're getting the highest possible conversion rate. Cheaper is not always better because sometimes with a higher price, you can get more profit than with a lower price, even if less people are willing to buy at that higher price. So here's the strategy that we're going to do. We're going to use price 1, we're going to use price 2, and we're going to use price 3. I'm going to show you a live example in a moment, but right now, just to make sure that we're on the same page here, I'm going to show you an example of how to split test pricing. So let's say that price 1 is $19.99, price 2 is $24.99, and price 3 is $29.99. What you're going to do is test these different price points for 5 days each. So we're going to run this price for 5 days. We're going to run this price for 5 days after that. And after that, we try this price for another 5 days. After we've run for 5 days, we're going to see what is the net profit that we actually got from these 3 different price points. So let's say $19.99 got us the highest revenue, $24.99 probably got us the middle revenue, and price 3, $29.99 got us the lowest revenue. However, because at $29.99, our profit margin is so much higher than at $19.99, we might end up with the conclusion that $29.99 is actually the price point that maximizes our profit. And if that is the case, this means that $29.99 is the price point that we want to go with. Now, if you're wondering how you can do this very easily without changing all your variants and having a lot of manual work, what I would recommend is that you check out the sponsor of this video, which is an app called Conigal. Among other features, Conigal has this feature, which is called the bulk price editor. And this feature allows you to change price on multiple different variants with just one click. So in this case, what you would want to do is you would want to open the bulk price editor on the Conigal app. You would want to do set price to selling price, and then you want to select US dollars here, and you would go ahead and enter 19.99. Once you click submit, Conigal is going to go and enter $19.99 as the selling price for all of the products that you selected. So once you're done with that, you run this for 5 days, and then 5 days later you come back, you repeat the process, but this time you try $24.99. You run again for 5 days, and then you come back and you try $29.99. And after that, you want to analyze your numbers like we did here, and you want to figure out not just what gets you the most revenue, but which price point gets you the best profit margin. Now that we know how to split test pricing, it's time to have a look at pre-orders to split test upsells. So number 2, we're going to split test upsells. So what a lot of people do is they'll set up pre-orders and they'll charge for pre-orders to see how many people would be interested in a product that is still not for sale without having to actually ship the product. If the product doesn't do well, they usually just refund the customers that paid for the pre-order, cancel the product, and test a new one that meets their criteria. Now, taking money for pre-orders and refunding pre-orders might be a little bit more of a hassle. So one thing that you can do is you split test just using back in stock notifications. Again, if you use Conigal, you have this automatic strategies button right here and backing stock alerts that you can use for this exact purpose. So you enable the back in stock alerts. This is what's going to happen to your store. There's going to be a button that says notify me when I'm available. And once people click that button, you will know how many people were actually interested in knowing when that product starts to be sold. So in this case, you're split testing upsells and cross sells as well. This doesn't only apply to upsells, of course. It also applies to cross sells. What you want to do is you want to have, let's say, 3 different products. You have product number 1, you have product number 2, and you have product number 3. And what you're going to do is you're going to create product pages for each one of these 3 products. And then you're going to split test them by emailing your customers about a pre-order. You can email your customers about a pre-order, or you can also run ads to these pre-orders. A very good way of doing this is presenting these pre-orders with an offer of an exclusive discount. Something along the lines of everyone that signs up for pre-order notifications now will get a certain discount once the product actually starts shipping. So you can do this without taking any payments and without worrying about the hassle of having to refund people afterwards. So what you're looking for afterwards, of course, is how many people actually sign up. So let's say you run ads for 5 days. This one gets 30 signups, this one gets 50, and this one gets 90 signups. That happens, you know now that you only have to actually put more effort into product number 3 because your audience is much more interested in product number 3, and that means that you can integrate product number 3 into your funnel, and you can have a much higher acceptance rate and a much higher average order value just because you know that the product that you're upselling is something that your existing customers in your audience are already interested in. For our number 3 method, we're going to be talking about our checkout optimization strategy. So your checkout is definitely a part of a funnel that you should not overlook, and a lot of people do that. And when you look in your data, you find that you have a huge drop off from initiate checkout to purchase in your funnel. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to identify exactly what is causing people to drop off in your checkout step of the funnel. And then you have to implement a solution that matches whatever the problem might be. So if you have no data, you can't really optimize your checkout, of course. To get some relevant data on this, you can use the checkout optimizer feature here on Conigal. So you can open this up. Now, this is the screen that you're presented with when you're looking at the checkout optimizer feature. Now I want to explain what each of these steps means and why each of these steps are important. So let's note down total checkouts as the number of people that actually initiated a checkout. Then discarded means people that have left the checkout without actually entering contact information. Abandoned checkout means people that started a checkout but left after they've entered contact information. And then of course you have your converted checkouts. Now you might be wondering, aren't these two here the same? What is the difference between discarded checkouts and abandoned checkouts? Well, this is actually a data point that is very important. Discarded checkouts are people that go to the checkout page and leave without even entering their contact details. And if you remember how Shopify checkout works, before you enter the contact details, you can see a few things. One thing that I've seen very frequently, for example, is people that say they have free shipping on the website, and then on Shopify, they have this message saying shipping calculated at checkout. Sometimes this can get people to be afraid that they're going to have to pay for shipping and leave before they even enter contact information. So if this is the case, what I would recommend is that you go on Shopify, you click edit languages on your theme settings, and then you look for shipping calculated at. This will bring up the bracket that you can use to enter free shipping. Once you enter free shipping, that message on the checkout is going to change from shipping calculated at checkout to free shipping. And this will make people a lot less likely to be scared by eventual shipping charges. So on discarded here, one of the problems could be unclear shipping information. For example, as I said, you say you have free shipping, and then when they get to the checkout, it says that their shipping charge is only going to be calculated at the next step. Abandoned, however, is different. Abandoned means they've already entered their contact details and they left after they entered their shipping address. This is the step during which Shopify presents them with payment options. And if your big drop-off happens here, that means that people are not finding the payment method that they want. For example, not having PayPal on your store can cause a very big drop-off in the abandoned step of your checkout optimizer. So we're going to go to abandon here, and we're going to note down payment methods. Now, if you have other things that are going on here, like more expensive shipping options, or you're upselling things during your checkout, there might be other things that you need to take into consideration during the checkout optimization process. But for most people, these are going to be the most relevant data points. And now number 4, our bonus tip here has to do with customer loyalty. So customer loyalty basically means offering perks to people who have already purchased from you to come back and do so again with a discount or with some sort of advantage compared with people that have never bought from you before. This, of course, helps you take a lot more profit out of customers that you already have without having to spend extra money doing so. So you leverage the data that you already have to try and extract more profit. So the way you want to do this is you want to use the customer-based pricing feature, and you want to add a new rule. So for customer tags, you're going to have a few customer tags that you can set up on your Shopify store. Let's say people that have already purchased from you once, that's one of the segments that Shopify already offers you by default. What you want to do is you enter your customer tag here, and you want to include the collections that will be included in the discount that you're about to offer to your existing customers. Then you want to choose a discount type. I like to use percentage. I would recommend something like 20% off. You want to use the start date and end date. Of course, if you're running seasonal campaigns, you just enter your season dates here. You use the discount name that will be used on Shopify for the discount code. And then you can do a description so that you recognize the promotion that you're doing right now. Once you do this, this means that you've created a particular discount that will only apply to certain customers, which of course prevents abuse. Let's say you want to give this discount to everyone that's already bought from you once. You want to give them a 20% off for them to buy again, which you can just send out to your email list without spending any extra money. If you do that through this method, you're going to prevent codes from being leaked or people using the code in ways that you didn't want them to. So the idea behind customer loyalty is that you take the customers that you already have and you're going to give them advantages to come back and buy from you. If you give them a reason, they will feel more welcome, they will engage more with your brand, and they're much more likely to come back and spend more money on your website without any extra cost in advertising. You can do just through email, but you don't have to. If you're willing to spend some more dollars on ads, you can do the same thing by running retargeting campaigns with specific loyalty bonuses. And you can be very clear at communicating these loyalty bonuses. You can say, if you're a customer who spent X amount of dollars in the last 90 days on your store, you get this product at 75% off. So you can do really aggressive discounts. All of this means that you're getting more money out of the customers that you already have, either for completely free through email or spending some money through retargeting ads. And there you go. These are 4 methods that you can use to increase your revenue right now without spending any extra money on ads. If you haven't started testing products for Q4 yet, I would highly recommend that you start testing them right now to make the most of the best time in the year for sales. So if you're looking how to find the best products, I would recommend that you watch the video right here for my method on how to find winning products. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.